All right, well, welcome back to another awesome episode of Be Inspired Podcast, where we're inspiring you to live the abundant life you deserve. So this week we have another awesome guest. Last week we had a director of the airline. This week we have a holistic person on the line. So we got foreign Spencer on the line with us. He's gonna tell us about himself a little bit, but before he tells us about himself, I just had to ask, man, how was that sound bowl event yesterday? I know it took a lot of energy.
Man, it took a lot of energy, but I also get it back from the people because the people respond and the people they evolve, like just to be able to hold space for the people, yeah, it does take a lot of energy from me. But the gratitude that I receive, the love, the admiration and appreciation, it all comes back to me. And it just comes back to me in other blessings, other blessings that come from the most high. So at the same time, I'm tired. I'm energized, just the same, King. Yeah, man. So it went well. I'm very grateful to um, have the relationship with frequency, vibration, sound, and just healing in general.
So, what are some of the benefits of like people like that will people receive from listening to the sound bowl or attending a sound bowl activity?
Um, People that deal with sleep disorders, anxiety, depression. It also brings up trauma. So people that are dealing with trauma, if you have trauma like buried deep down in your conscious, in your subconscious, usually sound bowl helps. Like it kind of shakens up your consciousness a little bit for
Right.
you to even realize, like, ooh, I was having a sound bowl session and this memory popped up, or I had this vision, or this dream, or these thoughts. So that's really what sound bowls do, and even the other um instruments that I play, like a rain stick, a ocean drum, wind chime, a tuning fork, all these different instruments, they recalibrate the frequency of your body. So like your organs are all on a specific frequency. Each chakra of your body has its own frequency. And when you play these frequencies, these um waves are emitted into your body, like the sound waves. When they are emitted into your body feels it and accepts sound waves,
Yeah.
then it recalibrates your cells. So basically, like, your cells are moving in your body, say they're moving around like this, like slowly, right? But when you hit the sound bowl kind of shakes your cells and they start rubbing and bumping each other. But that's how cells in your body communicate because they can't talk. So they communicate by movement. That's how
Mhm.
they know how to move around and so that's what they do. They like nudge each other and say, "Hey man, you go over here. We need some white blood cells over here because there's an affection over here, or we need red blood cells over here." That's how the body works. So yeah, it was great, man. Not to get off on the tangent, but it was
No
great.
worries. And I know we got into it already, but tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Um, Man, there's so many titles I guess that I could wear,
Yeah.
but I would just say I'm just a human being that's always evolving, always evolving. I would say I'm an alchemist, right? Somebody that takes nothing and adds their own creativity to it to create something of meaning, something of value. Um, I've had a lot of different experiences, met a lot of different people, traveled to a lot of different places, and that's what allowed me to take part in a few different modalities.
Right.
Not only healing and wellness modalities, just holistic modalities. So Like, you know me as Forrest Spencer because of the time and period I was in my life and who you met me through. Because my mentor, the Honorable Chad Thompson, shout out to Chad, man. Love that guy still to this day. Um, he's the one that gave me that name, Foreign. So it just kind of stuck at the time. We were in Atlanta. He was like, "Man, you mean to tell me, you speak Spanish and you used to live in this country, you used to do that?" He's like, "Man, you're just so foreign, Like, I'm gonna call you foreign and stuff." But I also go by Raw as far as my brand, Raw Healing Energy. Some people call me Raw, some people call me Raw Lil. It just depends on, the the stage or level of evolution I was when we met. Right now, like I said, I've worn many different hats. When you and I met, we were trading the market.
Yeah.
We were trading forex. We were like building financial literacy. We were building personal development. We were networking. We were really like empowering others through finance. And now the space I'm in, I'm more in a holistic space where I wear the hat of um sound practitioner, herbalist, nutritionist, rural and urban farmer, teacher as well. So that's what I'm on right now, growing food and medicine for the people. And I'm also teaching them how to implement different holistic wellness modalities into their daily life. So that's who I am, and that's pretty much what I do in a nutshell.
Right. Nice. So I know you say you wear a whole bunch of different hats, which is awesome. But how did you jump into the holistic wellness field?
Man, to be honest, I can't sit here and lie, King, and tell you that I just jumped into wellness because I didn't. I tiptoed into it. I stuck my foot in the water and I just let my feet dangle in the water. And eventually, God just pushed me in.
Hmm.
You it started way back in about 2007. I started studying the Rastafarian culture. I have Caribbean roots. I love Bob Marley and Peter Tosh. I probably love Peter Tosh more than Bob Marley, really and truly. And I started studying some of these ancient spiritual warriors like King Edward, also known as Emmanuel, Marcus Garvey, Haile Selassie. I started studying these spiritual warriors that really impacted their community and left a legacy of love and light, you know, because to me, that's what a real warrior is. A warrior doesn't necessarily have to bring death and darkness. Like, you can be a warrior of love and light. So I started studying these guys way back in 2007, um, and noticed there were so many things with Rastafarian culture that intrigued me. Fast forward to 2008, 2009. Um, I went to the Caribbean with my family and just connected with my roots, learned more about myself. Saw so many people that like look like me and had the same energy as me that just spoke a different language. Fast forward even more to me studying abroad while I was in college, and I went to an international school, the largest international school in my state, in my home state of Alabama. So that really opened up my mind, my consciousness to different uh, schools of thought, to different ideas of reasoning. Like I hung out with some Middle Eastern kids, some guys from Saudi Arabia, some from Tunisia, some from Iran. I also hung out with a bunch of Asian girls from Korea. and from China, from Seoul, and from like rural China too, like not like big city. So I also was on the board for the Troy African Student Association TASA. I was heavily involved with the international department. I volunteered for 3 years. I was Spanish club president. I just held a lot of space in the international community in my school. And there wasn't a lot of African Americans doing it. It was only me and another guy who I'm still friends with to this day. And that really opened my mind to different cultures. So now, fast forward to 2014, 2015, I graduated school. I already had 3 years of studying abroad under my belt, and came down with different sicknesses in my body. Around this time, I was already watching different documentaries. I started like just paying attention to my surroundings and seeing how a lot of things didn't make sense. Like I noticed how people's words and actions weren't aligning, you know, starting with, our government and governments around the world that were saying certain things and making certain promises, but when the shoe would hit the foot, it would be completely different actions taking place, right? So the documentary that really, really sparked change was Hidden Colors. I
Mm.
don't know if you've seen Hidden Colors.
No, I haven't seen that.
Okay. Have you heard of it?
No.
Okay, Hidden Colors, man, it's amazing. It features some of our most amazing spiritual warriors that are no longer with us. Get Gregory, Dr. Layla Africa, um, Umar Johnson I'm sure many people are familiar with Umar Johnson,
Yeah.
right? So that
I'm
was
gonna
my
look it up now.
right, Umar. So that was my first time seeing Umar on television, and then I actually saw him in person and met him 3 times. I bought his book, I shook his hand, had a conversation with him. And I also this is a documentary produced by Tariq Nasheed. Tariq Nasheed is an amazing producer. He's a black activist. He stands up for the culture, and I learned about I went from learning about Peter Tosh, Bob Marley, King Edward, Haile Selassie, Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Mucha Baruka. Now I'm learning about Empress Meninin, and I'm learning about dang, what is that king's name? The richest African king.
Mansa
Man, huh?
Mansa Musa?
Mansa Musa. That's it to the Rasta. That's it, King. So I learned about Mansa Musa the first time on this documentary. So I'm just so intrigued, and this documentary, I think there's like 5 of them, and they're broken down into different parts. One is the art of melanin, I believe. Another one is the religion of white supremacy, which talks about like slavery and the truths and the myths about you know religion, things of that nature. All in all, I got into wellness because they also talked about the food.
Mm.
They talked about how, like the Tuskegee syphilis experiment, which really hit home because my dad graduated from Tuskegee. Like, I just went to Tuskegee
TU?
homecoming this year. Yeah, TU, so it really hit home. I have a lot of my mentors
Yeah, I
that,
graduated from there too.
who you?
Yeah.
What? John, no, I didn't even know that, man. That's big. That's
Yeah.
amazing. That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, yeah, man, shout out to the Tigers.
Yep.
So, I mean, and it really hits home because when I was a baby, one of the most renowned Tuskegee airmen in my hometown, his name is Sherman Rose. He has a mural here in Dothan, Alabama. he used to hold me as a baby. He used to hold me and pray over me and like just speak affirmations over me. He sat in front of my grandma in church. And like I still remember him to this day. I remember his energy, how he looked, and so when I hear about these experiments, it really hits my heart.
Yeah.
And
That's crazy. And it's still affecting the community today, to this day.
yes, yes, King, most definitely. And that sparked my interest into truth and enlightenment and consciousness. Now, fast forward to maybe a year or so time after I'm diving deep in this documentary, right? So I'm diving deep in this documentary. Now I have sickness in my own body. I have different ailments, different diseases, and the doctors can't help me. All they can do is offer me medicine that's only going to provide temporary treatment, right?
Band-aids and
But if you research these medicines have grave consequences, right? Because they damage your liver and your kidneys long term.
the side effects are worse than the
Side effects are worse than whatever they say that you got, you know.
yeah.
And, you know, they were telling me, you know, you got this and, you know, there's not too many options. We don't know what we can do, how you can treat it, get rid of it. So I was on my journey at this time and I always have loved TLC. Like, Left Eye was my girl. You know, like I watched her documentary on VH1.
Right.
And as I was watching her documentary around this same time when I was sick, and she was talking about how she went to Usha Village and she did a lot of healing with this notorious holistic practitioner named Dr. Sebi.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I said, Ross, let me see what one, let me see what this man is talking about. So mind you, this is in 2014 before, you know, before COVID,
Yeah.
holistic wellness and natural practices kind of became a little more mainstream than it is today. And I studied Dr. Sebi. I mean, I took notes. I mean, I just stayed up on YouTube University, and he gave me the clues that I needed to heal my body, you know, and to reverse these diseases. And I come to find out that Left Eye was suffering from the same ailment that I was. So I was watching Dr. Sebi, and that's when I really tapped into nutrition and leafy greens and herbs and sea moss. And since then, it was a journey. 2015, I went to Costa Rica. I went to the hot springs in Adenal and La Fortuna, and I sat in those hot springs. And 2015, 2016, I went to Jamaica, and you know, I experienced my own healing from bush doctors. Like I got bit up by mosquitoes, maybe like 40, 50 mosquito or stuff. And the bushman come out of the bush and said he brings some Cersei or bitter melon. You know, we call it Cersei
Yeah.
in yard. And he took the Cersei and he wet it and broke it up and rubbed it on my skin. And instantly I felt the itch and the heat. Not only the itch, but the heat, the warmth. You know, when you're itching like it's hot,
Yeah.
you know, I felt the warmth leave that place on my body. And it's like God just came down and like just blew it. You know what I mean? You know how you get a burn, you get a scab, and your mama just say, "Give it here," and she blow it,
Yeah.
and it's your mama, and she put her healing energy on, it, so I automatically felt better. That's how I felt at the time. So it just blew my mind, and I started piecing the dots together, and I started drinking sarsaparilla root. I got on burdock root, and I slowly started changing my lifestyle. I made a commitment to not eat fast food in 2015, and around that same time, I committed to only drinking water and like natural juice. I gave up soda. I gave up all carbonated drinks. I gave up like all garbage, sweet tea, Kool Aid, lemon. I gave it all up.
Right.
And I instantly felt the frequency, the vibration of my body raise. I had more energy. Um, I just felt better. My mind was clear, but I still wasn't healed. So I just kept going, man. I kept traveling. I started meeting other people like me, and I made a promise to God that, if one day I'm able to heal my body of all these different ailments, I'll help others and I'll bring them closer to you through nature. Because that's how I met God. I met the Most High God through nature. That's where I met healing. So I'm not denouncing anybody else's way, anybody else's school of thought, anybody else's BS, their belief system, right? I'm not denouncing what they believe or their own experiences. I'm just saying from my experiences, this will work for me. This how I was able to meet the Most High through climbing the mountaintops and sitting around the Rastafarians and soaking up wisdom and eating raw for days,
Yeah.
fasting, sun gazing, sweating in the sun, doing yoga, doing breath work, high meditations. So all of the different practices brought me closer to God, also brought me closer to myself. So I traveled that journey, man, until about 2014 and 2017 to I really got those results of these different ailments leaving my body. And I haven't been the same since. 2017, I met my dear brethren, DeVaggio, who is a natural born practitioner. It's just in his genes. He's born and raised in Kingston,
Right.
in Trenchtown. He's just one of those spiritual warriors that isn't famous yet. You know, he's one of those people that introduced me to certain herbs. And even though I knew about certain wellness practices, he was the proof that I saw practicing in Atlanta, like in the United States. I
Yeah.
saw him uh, living the Caribbean lifestyle in Atlanta. So I was intrigued. We built some friendship. He introduced me to sea moss, and
Oh, yeah. I
yeah,
love
here I
sauce,
am.
man.
Yeah, here I
Yeah.
am. Like 7, 8 years later, man. I've been dealing with sea moss 7 years, impacted so many lives. I mean, made thousands of dollars off of it, but it's not the money that I made; it's the impact
The
I've been able
healing.
to make. Or really that the Most High has been able to make through me cultivating sea moss and herbs and wellness. So,
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know how important or the benefits of sea moss because
mhm,
it's most of the minerals that we need for our body comes from sea moss.
telling you, most of the periodic table, I mean, those same minerals and elements you're actually going to see and experience in a jar of sea moss.
Yeah,
And there's so many other sea vegetables too. Like you got sea moss, you got kelp, you got red algae, you got bladderwrack. You know, you also have watercress, which isn't a sea vegetable, but it's a freshwater vegetable. So yeah, man, it's just amazing to have these experiences just with God and nature, man. So
yeah.
God and nature being real.
And it's interesting because like for when you talked about you meeting the most high out in nature, it just rang a bell to me because I was reading one day and one of the Native Americans were just like, and it's no judgment, it's just the saying. They were like, they go in their church to pray to their God. We come out in nature to speak to ours.
Right.
Well, it was just a different mindset. And when you said that, that just hit me like, man,
Yeah.
like, is multiple different ways that you can meet the Most High or God or whoever you
Yes.
believe in. Um,
Yes.
that was interesting.
Yes. I'm with you on that, my brother, for sure.
So, what are some life lessons that you believe you learned from being in the holistic field?
Life lessons. I've learned that everything starts with self. Everything is within. Everything starts within your own soul, within your own consciousness. Every problem, every solution, every challenge, every victory, every triumph, everything starts within you, you know. I've also learned that gratitude and love are the highest frequencies. That you can overcome anything with gratitude and love and honesty and integrity. You can do anything with those high vibrational emotions, you know. Um, I've also learned that that God shows his love for us within nature. Like if you look at all the medicine, all the solutions, all the food that don't have to be processed. You know, people talk about fast food. The fastest food you can experience is go picking a fruit from a tree.
Hmm. And it's
Yeah.
crazy because, like, most of the medicine, and not many people know, most of the medicine that we get today is derived from an actual herb that they just put in all the extra stuff that you don't really need that causes side
Right.
effects.
And not only that, they take certain minerals and nutrients from the plant and they isolate them. They isolate them from the other nutrients in the plant that make it the plant balanced. So that's why it causes damage because it's like how can I explain it? It's like the yin and the yang energy, right? They balance each other. But if you have too much yin, you're gonna be sick. If you have too much yang, you're gonna be sick.
Yeah,
But if you got yin and yang balanced together, that's pure wellness. That's pure bliss.
right. Yeah. So, and we've been on here for a little while. So, um, what is some advice that you would give someone that is looking to start their entrepreneurship journey or looking to start taking care of their health?
I would say personal development is very, very important because you got to strengthen your mind. Like I meet people all the time and they're like, "Oh, I want to change my life. I want to lose weight. I want to do better. I want to eat better." But you have to strengthen your mind to be able to do those things.
Hmm.
Like we used to practice patience, discipline, and consistency, right? Under our great mentor, Kill Bate. And if you don't practice patience, discipline, and consistency, you're not going to have the willpower. You're not going to have the mental fortitude to stay on this journey and finish because anybody can start, but not anybody can finish. So that's one thing I would say. Number two, same thing, just like what we were doing in financial literacy. Find a mentor, find somebody you can trust. And you don't have to have just one. For me personally, I've had many mentors in my life. And I've outgrown plenty of them. And that don't mean that like I look down on them or they're not valid anymore or whatever. I'm just in a different space in my life and I still love them. But now that I'm on another level and I've evolved, I need another mentor for this level of raw, for this level of evolution. I need this kind of mentor. And really, even if you have a mentor that you're locked in with, the next level of you is going to require another.
Yes,
If you're not outgrowing your mentors, then you're not growing.
100%.
I mean, I've had some of the best mentors over time. I mean, even my friend DeVaggio, I would say he's one of my greatest mentors. So DeVaggio Forbes was a mentor for me. Chad Thompson, Mr. No More 9 to 5, one of the best mentors I ever had. Akil Bay, one of the best mentors. Elijah Finley was a great mentor. Space I'm in now, Isaiah Reese is one of my mentors. Dr. Victor Kahn, who's a professor at Tuskegee University, one of my mentors. So it really just depends on where you're at. Yaki Awakening, my brother, my friend, somebody I've had multiple conversations with. He's a mentor of mine. Um, Man, I could keep going. You
Yeah.
know, I could
Just
keep
like
going. Another mentor I had in the cultural space was the oldest Rastafarian in Puerto Rico. His name is Ras Wali. You see what I'm saying? Ross Wiley mentored me in Puerto Rico, and he just mentored me in life. It wasn't one specific thing, but he just mentored me as a man. And Ross Wiley told me, because he was a reformed Muslim turned Rastafarian, and he said he has love for his Muslim brothers because love is a weapon. Love is also a gift. Love is, and when he meant a weapon, he didn't mean like using it to hurt somebody. It's used to heal. It's used to bring communities together. It's used to fight wickedness, really,
Right.
because wickedness and evil can't stand love. You know. And he also told me this too. He said, Rasta, every time you lay down with a woman, you're laying down with a version of God. You're making a pact with God every time you lay down with a woman. I said, wow.
Jeez.
Said, wow. So I've had different mentors over my time, man. So that's my advice is like,
Right, man.
tap into the mental fortitude, tap into your spiritual practices. That's what's going to help with your mental fortitude. Breath work, yoga, sun gazing, yoni tanning and steaming for the women. Um, Working out, I mean, drinking herbal teas, praying, journaling. Man, there's so many different spiritual practices. Qigong, Tai Chi. I mean, so many different spiritual practices, King.
So you mentioned also reading and as a part of fortifying your mind. So, like, what are some books that you recommend that you've read that helped you on your journey?
I would say the 12 Universal Laws really helped me. Of course, Think and Grow Rich. The Aquarian Gospel of Jesus Christ.
Never
The
heard of that.
Aquarian Gospel of Jesus Christ. An amazing, amazing book. Also, The Alchemist
Yeah, that's a great book.
is a good book. And there's another one. I'm just gonna tell you the author because there's many different books. The books are like Tales of the Plumed Serpent, The Power of Silence, Tales of Don Juan,
Hmm.
and that's Carlos Castaneda.
Okay.
Carlos Castaneda. All of his books are amazing, and you can listen to the audiobooks too. Yeah. One more mentor, right? Online. Savan Bomar, alchemist, metaphysician, the realest metaphysician of our time.
Hmm.
Savan Bomar. Sevanbomar. Savan Bomar for the higher consciousness.
So, Florian, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you coming on here, sharing your wisdom, your knowledge. How can people connect with you?
Oh man, this is a question I love. I love connecting with people. I love, sharing love and light. People can connect with me through Instagram, Facebook. I have TikTok. I have a few videos on there, but I would definitely say Facebook and Instagram. I have Threads. I'm on Threads some, and I just speak truth on Threads, and I built a small following there. You can also come connect with me in person. You can connect with me in Alabama. I work for a community garden. I also host sound healings. You can connect with me in any of my sound healings. My Facebook is Foreign Spencer and Raw Foreign. So Foreign Spencer is one page, and I have another page, which is Raw Foreign, RAH Foreign, and my Instagram and TikTok is Raw Healing Energy. RA Healing Energy. INNERG. So that's how people can connect with me, man. Send me a message on IG. I also have a website, rawhealingenergy.com.
Okay.
So that's the way you can connect with me. You can see me an email through there. My email, Raw Healing. And those are the ways, I'm out here. I'm not like hiding. I'm reachable, I'm accessible, and I'm here to serve my people.
So, like I said, I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on here.
Yes, honorable. Appreciate you.
What would be a great way to end our time together here?
Man, just with an affirmation of gratitude and love, man. I just want to speak, you know, prosperity and positivity and purpose over your life. I've been honored to connect with you since 2019, since we've been on this journey of just being better men, better people, and standing in our purpose and standing in our power. So I just want to extend gratitude and love to you, King. I respect you, Honorable. I think you're a noble man, a noble person. So when you asked me to do this interview with you, man, it was a no-brainer.
Thank you. Thank you. I
Yes,
appreciate
yes,
it.
Honorable.
Same to you, man. Like, I appreciate you as well. Like, ever since we met, like you said, it's just been positive connections,
Yes,
100%. So, guys, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to another episode of Be Inspired Podcast, where we're inspiring you to live the abundant life that you deserve. So, every week we're coming at you with guests to inspire you to just take action on your life. You're maybe stuck in a corner, you may be stuck in business and life, wherever you stuck at, somebody in one of these podcasts could help you get to where you want to be. So until next time, like, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next week on another episode. All right. Peace out.